option is provided, and that is simply what it does. And I will allow my witnesses to speak in support.
Thank you. We have a motion. Thank you very much. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Anna Hurley. I'm a registered dietitian with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. As a registered dietitian, my most powerful tool is educating patients on the benefits of eating more plant-based meals to help them lose weight, decrease needs for medications, and prevent and reverse chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and some forms of cancer. I've been lucky enough to work in a hospital that prioritizes serving plant-based meals for their patients and staff members. The difference this makes in overall patient experience and in my ability to teach patients about food as medicine is profound. It encourages them to go home and incorporate these plant-based meals into their everyday life, turning their health around and preventing future hospitalizations. For many of my colleagues at other hospitals, this is not the case. Patients continue to be served meals that are harmful to their health. For a lot of people, being in the hospital for uncontrolled diabetes or heart disease is a pivotal moment in their lives.
Genesis Butler is getting ready to testify.
And right now, we're missing the opportunity for patients to try plant-based meals and to learn the benefits of food in reversing disease. This bill would empower individuals to make healthier choices both in and out of the hospital setting. It would have a far-reaching effect in terms of healthcare costs, environmental impact, the overall well-being of our population. It would also pave the way for other states to adopt similar measures and to potentially change the face of healthcare in the United States. Thank you.
Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Genesis Butler, and these are my two children, Zion and Genesis. In July 2016, I was admitted to Long Beach Memorial Hospital to give birth to my fourth child. Before labor, I informed the hospital that I was vegan for ethical reasons. Regardless of the reason for my diet, the fact that I had not eaten meat or dairy in many years and was not certain how my body would react if I had eaten it, even if I was willing. After being told by the hospital that they would see what they can do, my first meal after giving birth was Oreos, potato chips, a soda, and coffee. Obviously, this was not nutritious. A nutritious meal you would imagine a mother would eat after giving birth. Again, after requesting a more complete plant-based meal, I was given 2 slices of white bread with iceberg lettuce, a slice of tomato with cheese on it. Not only did the sandwich have cheese, but I could tell it had meat and they had just taken the meat off. Yeah, it was really gross to me because it was just not good at all. I told them I'm sorry and I was very polite. Give it back to them. They sent me chicken broth next. Told them chicken broth is not vegan. They said, well, there's no chicken in the soup. Yes, not plant-based. Then Jell-O. Jell-O actually is not plant-based either. It's made out of horse hooves. Finally, after 2 meal cycles, I was given steamed broccoli as my entire meal. At the end of this ordeal, I was told by the hospital administrator, and I quote, "We don't give vegan meals. People who want vegan just cave in and they eat what we give them." I know also 2 years later, my daughter Zion ended up in the hospital with a broken elbow. I thought if Long Beach is progressive, we would probably have more vegan, but at least another vegan option for us. Not the case. She went in there. She went 2 meal cycles with no food at all. Went to the cafeteria, and all they had that was vegan was greasy French fries. Children love French fries, but she wouldn't even touch them. So after that, they finally give her first meal of the day after being traumatized with her broken elbow, and it was a plate of white rice. I want to introduce my daughters Genesis and my daughter Zion.
It just makes sense to have plant-based meals in hospitals, especially when people are sick, because they should have fresh fruits and vegetables after they're sick. And it's a win-win because it's helping the planet.
What's your name?
Janelle gets a standing ovation, or at least a big round of applause.
Please vote for the bill.
So, Mom, let me commend you. You have some incredible, bright young ladies. I want to thank you for bringing them. Very nice testimony. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Anyone else in support? Please state your name and position.
Hi, Judie Mancuso, sponsor of the bill, And I too have been subjected to similar things in the hospital. We thank Senator Skinner and thank you for your aye vote today.
Hi, I'm Katie Cleary, President of Peace for Animals and World Animal News out of Los Angeles, and I support the bill. Thank you.
Carolyn Trapp, diabetes nurse practitioner, diabetes educator, American Association of Diabetes Educators, Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group, and the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. I urge you to support this bill. Thank you.
Fauna Tomlinson, speaking for myself, it's just common sense.
Leah Sturgis, Social Compassion and Legislation, here to support from Los Angeles, and I had a nurse convince my father that by eating his Jell-O supplement, he was actually getting his water intake.
Jane Velez Mitchell, supporter of this bill, author and journalist. Makes all the sense in the world.
Scott Hertzberg, Adventist Health, in support.
Jason Bryan on behalf of the California Cattlemen's Association, Western United Dairymen. Appreciate the Senator working with us on the language of the bill. We are neutral. Thank you.
Is there any opposition
Wow,
to Andrew?
that's huge. Neutral, the Cattlemen's Association. That is huge.
And just want to verify that your office amendments, which we have been passed out, will be by the declaration. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Those are the amendments taken.
Thank you. We do have a motion by Senator Mitchell. Chair will be supporting the bill. Would you like to close?
I ask your answer.
Thank you. Item number 9, SB 1138, passes amended appropriations. Call the members, please.
Hernandez.
Aye.
Hernandez, aye. Wynn. Leyva. Leyva, aye. Mitchell. Aye. Mitchell, aye. Monning.
Aye.
Monning, aye. Newman. Nielsen.
This is the vote to
Nielsen,
require
aye. Pan. Aye. Pan, aye.
plant-based options at hospitals and prisons.
Currently at 6, enough to get out. We're going to place that bill on hold. We do have some absent members.
Thank you.
We're
It's
gonna
placed
move
on
to
hold,
item
but it has
number
enough to get
7,
out.
SB 1109, Senator Bates, controlled substance, Schedule 2 drugs. Thank you. Schedule 2 drugs.
Huge. Well, let's interview you outside. All right, we're leaving the committee room now, and we're going to talk to Judie Mancuso, who's the bill's sponsor. This was a great reception, and I personally think having Genesis Butler, a 10-year-old TEDx talker, speak in favor of the bill was huge. So tell us quickly what the bill is and what happened.
Well, it mandates plant-based meal options be offered in prisons and hospitals, nursing homes, and we'll get a unanimous vote.
And what happened? What just happened?
We just got a vote in the Senate Health Committee to move it forward. It'll probably be unanimous. There was a couple of members missing, but they're supportive.
It's a six vote, I think.
So
I just talked to the Cattlemen's Association, and I said, why were you guys neutral? And he said, well, there were some good amendments to the bill, and I was kind of shocked that he went up there and said he was neutral from the Cattlemen's Association.
I mean,
they
that's
promote
a huge
dairy.
victory. That's a huge victory.
Well, and I said, do you love animals? And he goes, well, yeah, we take care of a lot of animals, and of course they do because they're the Cattlemen's Association. But the fact that he went up there and said neutral, you know, and he's actually coming up right now. Let's go talk to him.
This is all happening.
No, I don't want to do interviews. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay, but you know what? I think
We tried.
I think that being neutral on this is better than opposing it.
I think so too.
So,
I think so.
you
Yeah,
gotta give
exactly.
him some credit for that.
Yeah.
But that was pretty incredible.
We got to go to the poultry bill. We got to go now.
Okay,
1, 2,
all right.
6. She's
Okay.
leading. Follow.
Okay, all right. Wait, I've got to get.
We're going. No, don't do anything.
I've just got to get. I've got to get my. Okay, I left my cord there, so we're going to be going through the state capitol right now, heading to another bill. Following, we've got a camera crew from World Animal News here. We've also got Judie Mancuso running like a bat out of hell. Is that speciesist? Trying to get to the next hearing, which is about poultry. We want to make sure that poultry is, well, we don't want any of them killed. If they are killed, we want them to be unconscious. And right now, it's not. And we're running down a flight of stairs here at the State Capitol building. trying to get to the next hearing. I've got to keep up with Judie Mancuso, who is seriously, I don't know how many bills going on here for social compassionate legislation for animals. Where did she go? Judie? Judie? Where did you go, Judie? Dear God, I lost her. Judie! Here she is. Okay, here we are in the state capitol. We are running and trying to keep up with Judie Mancuso as she races through, going to the next bill. And this bill coming up is
the humane slaughter of poultry, but it might have already been heard and we might have missed it.
Okay.
I have no idea, but we're going in now.
We're going to right now to
You're
find
going to
out.
have to be quiet on the way in.
It's on tape. We're live, Judie.
I know, but...
All right. Okay. All right. Here we are. We're going into, and this bill says that poultry has to be unconscious when they're slaughtered, and there's a lot of opposition to this bill, believe it or not. Can you imagine opposing a bill that says poultry has to be unconscious when it's slaughtered?
And I think Mr. Gray raises a good issue, which is making it a voluntary program with money behind it is probably a way to be able to reach a compromise. But in any case, what I told you is that you can come up with the funding. That addresses one of my biggest issues. Most of these businesses are small minority businesses, and most of them, quite frankly, are in the big cities, which surprised me. And I think it's because in rural California, people take care of it themselves. They know how to do this kind of work. But in the cities, they go to these bigger facilities or these urban facilities. So I'm prepared to support it today. It's not in the bill, but we had a conversation, and take you at your word. If you will amend your bill and include that in appropriations, which I think is where it goes next, I think that would at least relieve the concern, the biggest concern we have. And I am concerned about putting, just in terms of, for further reference, is that there's a lot of things put on business, and a lot of times it's someone's opinion on what business ought to do. And I really like to look at good science when we're doing this kind of work. And so I'm hoping that you're right, that this is a more humane way of treating animals. And the reason I say I like the idea of it being voluntary is because if in fact the producers feel like it's more humane and that they can be funded as part of the change, then they'll do it. And that would be a real good test of whether that kind of move is a good thing for the industry. So in any case, I have not issued a recommendation for the committee. It's up to everyone to make their own choices. We do have a quorum, so I'll entertain a motion if someone wants to make it. Is there a second? I'll make the second because I told you I would support it at this point. And so then we'll call the roll.
AB 3159, the motion is to pass appropriations. Caballero. Caballero, aye. Mathis.
No.
Mathis, no. Eddie or Kirby. No. Flora.
Mathis.
Gallagher. Gallagher, no. Gray.
That's the man who voted no right there.
Go to the country.
And just to clarify, we expect to work with growers and producers and industry, and should this bill proceed, we'd be working with the industry going forward. So everyone will be at the table.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. So we have one more bill yet.
That was huge. That was monumental. We've got some people hugging each other, Judie Mancuso, with a bill. Excuse me. Thank you. We're following some of the people who testified out, including someone from the Humane Society of the United States who testified about these, how much that was huge.
Well, it wasn't huge. This is Jane Mitchell.
Hello,
She's live
how are
on
you?
Facebook right now.
Yes.
So
Can you
tell
explain
us,
what
please.
happened?
Well, the bill is on call. which means that there are members who are not present in the committee who haven't voted yet. And so now we have to go and try to round up those members to see if we can get a vote to get to the committee. If we don't, then the bill dies today, and there's no future this year because we're past the deadline for another hearing. And so now our work is to try and get more votes for the bill. Essentially what you heard today were folks in industry saying that this is not a treatment that is needed.
It's what? I'm sorry, can you speak up, sir? I apologize, it's so echoey here.
What you heard from industry today is that what we propose is not necessary.
And what exactly did you propose?
We disagree with that. And I'd like to do an extensive interview with you, but right now I've got to go get votes for the bill.
Yes,
the bill still has life. So
go.
Please let me focus on the work at hand, because we're not done here yet.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
So basically it's a bill that says that, I'll bring you on the bill. Do you know that basically chickens are exempt from the cruelty laws to the point where they don't have to be unconscious when they're shackled and killed. Their throats are slit. And this bill, by social compassionate legislation, would say that chickens do have to be unconscious just like any other animal. That it is cruel, that chickens feel pain, and that this is barbaric and medieval, and that we need to make sure that chickens are unconscious when they are killed. And that's the bill. It simply says that chickens are not exempt from the cruelty laws that say animals have to be unconscious when their throats are slit. And it's a very simple bill. I can't understand why it would be complicated at all. Obviously, chickens feel pain. Everybody knows that chickens feel pain. And why is their pain okay? Why is their suffering okay? That is the question. And you know, just today, 600,000, more than 600,000 Californians, it was just announced, signed the petition for the California Prevent Cruelty Initiative. So clearly, the people of California are concerned about how farm animals are treated, and the vast number of farm animals that are killed for food are chickens. This is why it's a big issue. They are the majority of animals killed for food. So this is not a small issue, it's a big issue. And we're here in the state capitol, and I'm going to be talking to folks right here who are, you were here in the hearing. We just ran from one hearing to another. What'd you see?
Pretty much down as you would expect. As you would expect, the farm industry dug in their heels and were not willing to compromise. We even told them that we had special funding to help them transition over to the new processes, and they still refused to support the bill, despite the fact that McDonald's and other huge chicken, buyers of chicken are trying to move to, the more humane practices, but the Farm Bureau still does not want to deal with this. So they're sticking their head in the sand.
But the chairman of the committee seemed a little bit, when I walked into the middle of it, she seemed a little bit more open, Ana Caballero.
Yeah, we were very happy with that. She was willing to move the bill, assuming that we work with the opposition to help fund the transition over, which we were super encouraged by. So I don't know if that's going to be enough to sway some of the other members of the committee, but we'll see.
Wow! And were you shocked with the guy who said no? I think his name was Miller, and he yelled no like that.
That was Mathis.
Mathis.
Yeah. No, that was not shocking at all. That's his MO.
Okay, so Mathis, remember that. What district does he represent?
I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll have to find that out. I want to list everybody how they voted.
We will. We'll get that information because the roll is still open, so not all the votes are in. So we'll know that by the end of the day.
So are they going to possibly go in there and take another vote?
Well, what will happen is as the rest of the committee members make it back into the room, they will log their vote, and we'll know by the end of the day. But there won't be any more hearing on the issue.
Got it. Yeah. So we are here. Thank you so much. Nicholas Sackett, an incredible attorney who works for social compassion and legislation and who basically drafts a lot of this stuff and does all the hard work. You are my hero, Nicholas Sackett.
I love you, Jane.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. So again, here we are in the State Assembly, and there's all sorts of excitement and drama going on, but basically, you heard it here. The idea that chickens, which we all know chickens feel pain, all right? They're not exempt from pain and suffering. You testified. Can you speak up? I know you're very soft-spoken, and that's a good thing, believe you me. But in this case, can you speak up and just summarize what you said to the committee?
Well, I just tried to give them some scientific evidence that shackling poultry, turning them upside down, is stressful and it's also painful. And I think that there was a real lack of appreciation for the latest science that demonstrates that this is the case, and that there was a lack of understanding that there is a problem. You know, this is the way that they have slaughtered poultry on a small scale for a very long time, and I think it's hard to introduce a new idea into agriculture because they get very wed to the ways that they've been doing things for a long time. And you know, it's okay to have tradition, but when we have some contradictory evidence, we need to have a serious look at that and see what we can do to innovate and improve and make the situation better.
Well, let me say this. I mean, they're in, you know, plausible deniability is what they want. I mean, I was heartened by the chairwoman of the committee saying some positive things, Anna Caballero, which wasn't expected necessarily. Is there anything positive that we can glean from that?
Well, I think she understands that Californians, people all over the country, people all over the world actually care about animals. You know, at Humane Society International, we found that compassion is a universal value. We see it everywhere. And I think she's picking up on that. She feels what's in her heart, and she knows that her constituents care about animals as well. And so I think she's trying to problem solve here and find solutions. And that's good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with working with farmers and producers to see what we can do that's better. I think this is a new idea for them, and we got to keep working on it.
Thank you so much. And you are with the Humane Society of the United States. You flew here from Nebraska.
I did.
To testify.
Yes, but this is a short trip for me. I'm usually going to Asia, so.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, thank you for all you do. Okay, so we're here. You got the scoop. It was like you were here in the state capitol today. I mean, you got to see us run from one hearing to the next. And again, we're also here with Katie Clary of World Animal News. Here are some of the committee members who are leaving. And
I will.
We wonder how they vote in the end. Would you be willing to comment on the bill, sir, to say that chickens, you know, basically feel pain like any other animal and they should not be exempt from anti-cruelty laws?
I just wish we had given it an opportunity for everybody to work out all their differences.
Well, thank you. And I still maintain hope.
Yes.
I maintain hope. Thank you, sir.
It never ends. Just remember that.
Thank you. All right. And there you have a comment from one of the members of the committee. And so that's pretty exciting that we have folks here. You know, I detect some hardliners, but I also detect some wavering, some softness. The chairwoman of the committee, I didn't get the sense prior to this meeting that she had, you know, was in any way, shape, or form in favor, and yet when I went in there, she was talking about coming up with a compromise and making this happen. Now, we have World Animal News here doing a documentary on this, and there's Katie Clary, who runs World Animal News with her camera crew, talking to Judie Mancuso of Social Compassion and Legislation, which is the sponsor of this bill.
And they're dying anyway, and that's the problem, is that the fact that we have to fight for this. We actually have to fight to give them a voice, to protect them, and these poor animals are being killed regardless, and I mean, we have to fight for just a little inch, just to render them unsensible to pain. It's just so shocking and so sad. You know, that we have to fight for this. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's not a lot to ask.
It's not.
It's not a lot to ask. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating because it doesn't make sense that these people are fighting us so hard against this when they know that these animals are suffering. They know. I mean, I know that they've seen the videos. I mean, how could you not? It's all over social media. It drives me nuts. We post it on World Animal News. Jane posts this constantly on her.
Come here. We're going back in. Okay, we're going back in right now. You are seeing this as it happens. We are live in the state capitol. We're going to be discreet, but we have to see what happens.
This concludes the hearing. Oh, so it's over? They just voted against
They
it?
voted against being humane slaughter to birds. There goes the cattleman guy there, right?
There's the cattle people.
Yeah, and the Farm Bureau.
Yeah, the Farm Bureau. Okay, so you know what?
It's a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
And we will be letting everyone know who these members are so that you make sure to educate them on why they should be on the right side of history. And if they can't be that way and animal protection means something to you, got to vote them out. Got to vote for others.
Yeah.
Don't vote for these people just because they're on the ballot and they've been the ones that have been. We got to vote them out. This is ridiculous.
I mean, your bill
We
just
gotta go
said
out. We gotta go out.
essentially,
We gotta
your
go
bill, okay.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, we want to find out. This bill just said that chickens should be rendered unconscious before they're slaughtered, and they can't get that passed. What does that say about our society? What does that say about our society? Right?
Well, I don't know if it's about our society or the political process. Campaign finance laws. There's a lot that goes into play here. This guy right here, he thinks everybody is stupid that voted for Prop 2, he said, in a public hearing. Gallagher, yeah.
The guy with the hat or the other guy?
Yeah, but that's nothing good. We're hoping. Anyway, anytime any of your time want to come out, I'll show them the place.
Assemblymember Gallagher. About the humane slaughter.
Just wanted to talk to you really quick
why
about.
you would be against.
Yeah, why are you against this?
Yeah, because I know farmers and they are very humane with their livestock, and the bill's not necessary. But thank you for your time.
Why is it not necessary?
I'm just sorry, do you think it's humane to slit an animal's throat while they're conscious? How could that be humane, sir? I'm just asking you. I'm not trying to corner you, but is it humane to slit an animal's throat? Is it humane to slit an animal's throat when they're conscious? I mean, it's a very simple question. All right, well, that you saw it right there. That's somebody, okay, so he ran away from me, he wouldn't answer the question.
Well, we should ask him. Ask him.
Yeah.
He's part of the
Yeah.
poultry
Yeah,
industry.
yeah, well.
You may need to lobby for 4 votes out of 3. So I'll be in touch.
So sad. I went up to one of the assembly members and I tried to ask him, "Do you think it's humane to slit an animal's throat where they're conscious?" He wouldn't answer me. He literally ran away from me.
I have to go talk to her.
Just to be clear. Pause.
What? Kyle says yes to everything.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about what exactly the details of the bill.
Sure. So right now in California, a bird that is going to slaughter does need to be rendered insensible to pain before it's actually killed. But in the process, it is usually shackled. And the shackling process is very painful. They have broken legs, they have been traveling in terrible conditions, and then they're violently hung upside down into these shackles. Now that process is done without any kind of stunning whatsoever, and that's what we wanted to change today. We want to make sure that those birds are rendered insensible to pain before they are shackled.
Before they get on basically the death train.
Exactly,
The
the
death
death train.
train in the process of being
Right,
killed.
right.
So it's
That's
like sometimes their bones are dislocated, their wings are broken.
That's right.
And they are upside down, fully conscious, headed toward their death.
That's right.
And you're saying they should be unconscious at that time.
Right. Before they get into the shackles, they need to be rendered unconscious. All, like I said earlier, McDonald's, Purdue, large industries moving that way because they know that it's the most humane methods, and activists like us have been pushing them that way. California should be a leader on this. but unfortunately the Farm Bureau won this battle. But it's not over. We'll keep coming back.
Wow, thank you so much for clarifying exactly when the animals are supposed to be rendered unconscious. So I feel like we're going to up here. Once again, we are here in the state capitol, and you can see that I'm here. Katie Clary from World Animal News is behind us doing a documentary on this issue. We won one. It's on hold, but they expect it to get out of committee, which means that bill, which would say that hospitals and prisons and nursing homes in California have to offer plant-based options, that is proceeding. That is a big success today, but not a success. The bill that would say that chickens should not be exempt from anti-cruelty laws, that they should not be able to be shackled upside down, conscious as they head towards slaughter, often dislocating their bones and dislocating their wings and breaking their bones. It would seem like a no-brainer. Californians and Americans, for that matter, all across the 50 states are decent people who love animals. Just today, we found out that more than 600,000 Californians signed a petition to get the Prevent Cruelty California initiative on the ballot in November. Huge victory. But you could see some of the entrenched forces like the big ag, the Farm Bureau and big ag interests still hold enormous sway here at the state capitol, and we have to do something about that. This is ultimately a consumer issue. None of it would matter if people didn't eat chicken. So that is something that we need to let people know, that the best solution to this is simply do not eat animals, and that's better for your health, it's better for the environment, and it is certainly better for the animals themselves. So reporting live from Sacramento, California in the state capitol building, Jane Velez Mitchell for Jane Unchained.